Recording in progress.
Thanks for joining us. Look to record, just put it in the chat. We're going to get started with Jim Curtin after his opening statements. We'll go right to questions.
Yeah, thanks, Nico. Just to reflect quickly on New England, obviously a great result, a much-needed result. A thank you to the fans for sticking with us and pushing us through on the night. You could talk about a ton of positives from the game, whether it's Tai Baribo's hat trick and Player of the Week, Kai Wagner's performance with 3 assists. You could talk about getting Jose and Andre back and what that brings to the group. Quinny's goal, Cavan's debut, all the special moments. But for me, and I said it to the group, the most important moment of the game was when we're up 3-0, have a chance in front of goal to go up 4-0, don't do it, and New England comes down and scores. And from there, our reaction could have been negative. It could have been, here we go again. Instead, we got the ball, the net, and scored within a minute of time. And that, for me, was the biggest moment of the night. It showed a resiliency and showed that we were us on the night. So that was important. We now are stressing to the guys the one result means nothing if we don't follow it up with another good performance against Nashville. Nashville is still a very dangerous team. It always starts with Hani Mukhtar. Schaffelberg's in really dangerous, good form coming off the Copa America, a great dynamic attacker. So again, we have to be at the top of our game to get a result against a team that has a new coach coming in BJ Callahan. Will be motivated to play for their coach, who will obviously be watching from a distance. And for those in Nashville, they are getting, for me, for my money, for what that's worth, one of the best coaches that our country has.
Thanks, Jim. We can start with questions in the room.
I wonder what your thoughts are going to be of seeing BJ on an opposite sideline. He's obviously worked a long time to get this kind of opportunity. What do you think that's going to feel like?
Yeah, we had a nice dinner the other night, and then we got to share some ideas and talk about the old days and times and laugh and have a beer together, which was nice. Again, he's the type of person that will never be outworked. You saw his leadership skills with the U.S. national team when he took control of that and did nothing but win, So and lead a group that needed a boost at that time, and he stepped in seamlessly and did a great job. So incredibly proud of him. I think Nashville made a perfect decision. A top leader, a top coach, whether you talk about tactical, work ethic, speaking in front of the group, motivating athletes, whatever box you need to check, BJ Callahan checks all of them. So really proud of him and the opportunity that he's got. Part of me gets upset because I now know Nashville will be one of the top most dangerous teams in the East, much like I said about Cincinnati when Pat and Chris took over there. So it's nice to see those guys succeeding. I wish it was in the Western Conference, so we didn't see them as much. But BJ's earned it more than any coach I've ever worked with and seen. He will work tirelessly. He has a great family, great people around him, and I know he'll do incredible work.
You have a new player in the mix this week.
Yeah.
What are you expecting from Sam, and to have a striker on a short-term kind of opportunity here? What do you think that can provide you guys?
Yeah, first and foremost, Sam is a great kid. You get to talk to him and meet him and be around him, and he brings an energy and a smile and a happiness that injects life in the group, which is important. You then get to the physical tools, and he's all of 6'4", 6'5", strong in the air, and right away through the data, he's our fastest player, and it's not close. So speed kills, and it changes the game. So he not only has the ability to get in behind, but has, for a big guy, really soft feet and can finish around the goal. So we see a natural fit for us. Keep things simple. We'll play with 2 strikers. Sam will play a role in the game tomorrow at some point, whether it's a starter or off the bench. He'll be involved for sure, and I've told him that already. And I want to keep things as simple as possible. He's been here for 2 days. You don't want to overload him with information, but keep things simple. Realize all our strikers at the Union get service. We will get you service. Just run hard in the box, get on the end of crosses. We see how good you are in front of goal, and trust that our guys will get you the ball. Defensively, keep it simple, work with your other striker to keep the ball on one side, lock it in, and make it predictable for the guys behind you. And as our strikers set the tone, the other 8 guys behind them will follow. So very simple message, I know, but one that he's more than capable of executing, and it's been great to work with Sam so far, and I think his future here hopefully is very successful and longer than just the end of this year.
Following up on Sam's addition, it feels like it's a two-way street here, right, in terms of coming into the team trying to help, but also trying to help his case, whether it's to stay here or currently talking abroad. How is he feeling about the opportunity? What were his first words with you about coming to Philadelphia, and why Philadelphia?
Yeah, there's excitement. I think he sees us as a team that does play with the 2 strikers and is a good fit for him. We maybe haven't had a target striker in that you think about big, strong hold-up play, winning aerials. He kind of checks that box, whereas even Julian before him is more of that kind of slasher and looking to run hard in the box. Mikel is a guy who gets in behind. Tai has emerged as a guy who can come underneath and receive balls at his feet. But now they're all okay in the air. But when you see Sam's presence and the physicality, and then also the ability to run in behind, it's a really good fit. So again, in pretty minimal minutes with St. Louis over the years, he hits the back of the net at a pretty high rate, which is something that excites us. Strikers are always motivated to score goals. It's a very simple formula. If you score goals, people will want you in the world of soccer, whether it's in MLS, whether it's in Europe, and we want to have Sam reach his highest level. So hopefully he can score goals here, help us win games. I can't predict the future, but we want to provide an environment that sets him up for whatever's next. Selfishly as a coach, I hope that's here in Philly. But the more he produces and works hard for us and does well and scores goals, and the team has success, it's only going to be better for him in all aspects, whether that is environment, financially, whatever it might be. You score goals and things take care of themselves.
Thinking about the transfer of a player mid-season, and you said it out loud about the short window now between, I guess, MLS season now going on the break for Leagues Cup and 10 games left, whatever it is. What does the integration of him look like? Is Leagues Cup going to be the brunt of his work to get up to speed, so when MLS resumes, it's just hopefully a nice stretch where he can get Philadelphia to the playoffs? Yeah,
that's the plan. Obviously, you're right. Our season is very much front-loaded, like every MLS team, because of the Leagues Cup, which unfortunately, you lose probably 5 or 6 additional, or 7 even, potential MLS games that could have been in August. But that's the reality of our schedule. So, we're down to 10 games left, and again, want to finish strong against Nashville. You're right, we have that Leagues Cup window where we'll finally have some full training weeks, which we haven't had a ton of this year, to where he can get integrated, get used to his teammates. And it does take time. I think you guys have seen that with every player that comes into this league. It does take a little bit of time, but we still see a fit in that, St. Louis had a little bit of the Red Bull DNA in them. We have a little bit of the Red Bull DNA, the running and pressing. So it makes the transition a little smoother and easier for Sam and some of those clear ideas that we share. But I think it will be a scenario where the Leagues Cup can be a real stepping stone for those final games of the season. So get integrated, get acclimated quickly. We will throw you out there and give you an opportunity, and I know he'll step up and do a good job. Seems like a great kid. Has some roots here in Philly too. As a brother that was at Villanova Law School, so we shared a laugh and joke about that as a Villanova guy myself. So yeah, so it's makes it easier too, the transition, because he has a place to stay, has some familiar faces and family here, and it's been quick and smooth. And a guy like Dan Nolan, who does our as our team liaison and does a good job getting these guys acclimated behind the scenes that no one ever gets to see about. He does a great job with that too. So I think Sam feels comfortable. I don't want to speak for him. He feels comfortable here quickly, and on the field he's looked very sharp.
We'll go Jillian, and then we can do 2 on Zoom.
6 goals and 6 starts for Tai Baribo. What, if anything, have you seen change for him since he's been making the starts, and how do you assess the pairing with Mikel so far?
Yeah, Ty's been incredible. I couldn't be more proud of any of our players than I am of Ty, because he came in. It took a little bit of time to get up to speed and acclimated. as you reanalyze things too, maybe didn't get the reps with the first team guys. Obviously Julian's here, so he got less and less of those. So you don't get as many actions with a Mikel, with a Danny in training. You're working a lot with the second team, and look, if Tai looked exactly like he looks right now, guys, of course we would have pulled the trigger quickly and found more minutes for him. So it's a two-way street, but he's been incredible. His work rate on the field has been amazing, and we're only going to look forward now. So he's stepped in and done a great job for us, not just the goals. The goal output obviously is incredible, the amount of goals he scored in such a short amount of time, but the work rate defensively to back pressure, to make deflections, to make a block, to disrupt the attack of the opponent in the 90th minute of games is something that he deserves a ton of credit for. I'm really happy for his success, and I just want it to continue, and more of the same. So he's starting to really get a relationship with Danny and Mikel. Are there still some plays where they could get right and even finish even more off? They'd tell you that same thing. So happy for Tai, proud of Tai. And it's the definition of being a professional, sticking with it through tough times when decisions went against him, right or wrong. Those decisions still kept going and has done an amazing job for us. And we'll only look forward now to the end of the year with Tai. It's great.
Nico, we can
Joe,
go.
fancy?
Hey Jim, how are you?
Hi, Joe.
What's next for Kevin now? Because you bring in another attacking player. He's made his debut. I assume less cameras are on him now. What's the message to him now to make consistent first team appearances for the rest of the season?
Yeah, look, he deserves to be in the 20 again. So he will be. He trained really good today. Has been sharp. I think obviously has a little bit of confidence. You get that initial debut opportunity. It's something that stays with you forever, for sure. I thought even in the short time that he had, the touches that he had shows he more than belongs. So again, Cav's going to get better and better. The moment the other night was a special one where, Quinny scores a great goal. Cav gets to celebrate with him. Cav comes in and helps us, impact the game. I know it's 5-1 and people say it's over, but still he did a really good job. A couple one-touch passes, showed that he's not afraid to dribble at defenders that are 25 to 30 years older than him. So he did a great job of stepping into a game, left a good impact on the game, a good impression on the coaches, and now we'll be part of the 20 again tomorrow versus Nashville. And each week will be a new week, Joe. We have competition. We're always going to try and bring in players to help the roster, to upgrade in certain areas on the field. But Kevin's done his job and then some already as a 14-year-old. Again, he's rewarded because he's played great for Union 2, scored great goals there, was rewarded with the debut, did a good job in that, and now it'll be week by week and opponent by opponent. Will he still get some Union 2 minutes at certain moments to stay fit and sharp? For sure. Those will only benefit him. But again, for a 14-year-old, he is way ahead of schedule.
And final question will go to Jonathan Denham.
Thanks. Jim, you have momentum now in a way that you haven't in quite a while. You have another game, and then the regular season stops.
Yeah.
And you go into the Leagues Cup. How much does that complicate keeping them?
Yeah, look, we can use the Leagues Cup as a window where we can have full weeks of training. We can build fitness. You can keep guys sharp. We can maybe get some guys that are in tough form going. So again, we have to find a way to utilize that the best we can while also trying to make a run in Leagues Cup. Reality is we have 2 home games, and we're pretty highly seeded and have some favorable matchups if we take care of business on our home field. So this momentum, Jonathan, that you talk about, and I'm not saying we have momentum because we won 1 soccer game, but if we can keep the momentum of a win, finding a way to get 3 points against Nashville, going into a competition where, let's be honest, the more you win, the more confidence you'll get, the more games you'll get, because you lose both of them and then you're sitting around for a month almost having a mini preseason, and that's something It doesn't excite the players. It doesn't really excite me at this moment. So we want to stay sharp. Go on a little bit of a run in the Leagues Cup, which is a great competition. There's incentives for the players in that competition as well, and then go into the final stretch of that last block of games to try to get in the playoffs.
I have one question about Kevin, which is that everything came together in so many ways for you on Wednesday night. Not only that he was ready, but you were up 5-1 and playing
Sure.
a pretty bad team. So, to what degree does the opponent matter in figuring out whether he's going to play in terms of physicality, how good they are on Sunday?
Yeah, I think it'll be situational. It'll be which position do we use him at in certain moments. I think he can play as a 10. I think he can play as a second striker. I think he could even play on the side of a diamond. If we switch to two wingers, you could play with Cavan tilted to the left, Quinn to the right, they have winger tendencies as well. So there's different variables and options. Cav's good at soccer. He has a high soccer IQ. I think you guys saw that. For 14, smart enough to know to go into a game, not complicate things, connect his first couple passes, and then build from there. If he scores that goal where he shoots from distance, I think then Jonathan, it's the perfect night. But overall, I agree. It's a great start, a dream debut. Yes, the game was comfortable at that moment, but as time goes by and he continues to do well and builds more trust with the staff and his teammates and gets better and better, we're not going to be scared to throw him back out there shortly. And again, whether a game's competitive, close, we're up, we're down a goal, whatever it might be, he can leave an impact on the game because he's a great player.
All right, thanks, Jim. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.